This session is about the identification parade in criminal cases.
This course will provide you the details regarding the identification parade, its evidential status, and the enabling legal provisions, the mode and procedure for conducting the same, the duty of the magistrate, and relevant judgments about the topic, purpose, scope, object, and importance of holding the identification parade, and when it should be conducted in a criminal case.
Now you will see an animated video where you will find prosecution officers discussing different aspects of an identification parade.
Hello, sir. Hope you are doing good. I am a prosecutor and know very little about the identification parade, its procedure and other allied information. Can you please explain it to me?
Yes, sure. The first and foremost thing is to understand that it is conducted before forwarding the case to the court for trial. The person arrested and required to be identified must be a stranger for the witness. That the identifier, who is also a witness, must be reliable and have seen the person to be identified at the time of commission of offense. Being a young prosecution officer, you should understand that only identification parade cannot be firm basis of conviction unless it is corroborated by some other cogent and confidence-inspiring evidence.
Sir, what is the purpose of holding identification parade in a criminal case, and the object of the identification parade?
Yes. This is an important question. Identification parade enable the witness to identify a person who he has seen committing an offense. The objective of the identification parade is to eliminate possibility of any mistake and to take test of the eyesight of witness. In other words, it is the test of the veracity of the witness who claims that he has seen the person to be identified committing an offense.
Sir, can you please explain how identification parade is conducted?
Yes, sure, why not? This is a patent question. You must know the procedure, as violating the procedure ultimately shatters the entire evidence.
Okay, sir.
The individual required to be identified is made to stand in a queue, along with other persons of almost the same age, heights, complexion, and appearance. The identifier is required to identify the actual offender. The queue is resembled twice or thrice by changing the positions of the persons. The identifier is asked to identify the offender. Again, this is very important that the offender is not known to the witness. The witness has to recall the crime scene and physical features of the suspect in order to identify him.
That's great. I wonder what is the evidential value of the identification parade?
This is a very important question. I want to make it very clear that identification parade is not a substantial piece of evidence. It has to be corroborated with other evidences. It may also be understood that the absence of identification parade is not at all fatal in all cases.
Fine, sir. Can you please explain different modes for conducting the identification parade?
Nowadays, identification parade is conducted and is carried out through modern devices, such as tape recorders, cameras, videos, audio and maps, etc. In terrorism cases, similarly, If a terrorist is declared a proclaimed offender, his identification shall be made through his photograph, and that it has the same value as the evidence of the test identification parade. In case of extortion, if the witness heard the accused demanding money from the complainant, the accused can be identified by the witness through voice. Here I would like to highlight that it is very important that identification must be conducted as soon as possible, and in the presence of magistrate.
Sir, can you please explain the mode? How identification parade is conducted?
Yes, sure. Before conducting the identification parade, the police constable and officers are required to be withdrawn from the room where identification parade is to be conducted. It must be ensured that the witness has not seen the accused before conducting the identification parade. There are certain procedures, which are mandatory in nature, required to be opted by the magistrate. That is, identification parade report must contain the time, place and date of the identification parade, along with the names of the persons standing in the parade, and the statements made by the identifying witness. Being a prosecutor, you must know that it is mandatory that the magistrate must note down every objection which is made by the accused at the time of conduct of the identification parade, so that it may be considered during appreciation of evidence at trial. After the completion of identification parade, the magistrate must read over the contents of identification memo to the witnesses, and they are also required to sign the memo as token of their agreement regarding its contents. I hope that I was able to explain the identification parade, and you are now fully acquainted with the same.
Yes, sir. It was wonderful, and now I am able to assist the court properly.